Welcome.
To film.
Shapes?
The podcast?
That's as good as anything.
It's showtime, y'all. You love him and I love him. Put your hands together.
Dolemite is my name.
Guys, welcome. This is Film Shapes, as we've just found out. It's a little bit different. We're all over the place in the city, locked in, as it were. But we'll try it out and see how it goes. Tonight, we're going to talk about Dolemite Is My Name. This is a biopic of Rudy Ray Moore, a blaxploitation star of the 70s. And it stars Eddie Murphy, Wesley Snipes, and Keegan-Michael Key, among others. It's directed by a guy called Craig Brewer, and it's kind of a making-of film for most of it. It starts with Moore bemoaning his lack of success until he stumbles upon a character for his stand-up routine, who's Dolemite. So, guys, we all saw this on Netflix, I guess, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
What did you think? Who should we start with? Roland, how are you? I should introduce people. Roly is here, as usual, but not here. He's there. How are you, Roly?
Look, I enjoyed the film. I'm kind of curious what the other guys think of it. For me, this was a film that I enjoyed, but I'm not sure I've got that much to say about it. I'm not sure where it left me. It was entertaining. I thought Eddie Murphy was great.
Okay, so those other guys, Merv. Hi, Merv.
G'day, how you going?
Good. And Parizad, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Great. So, what did we think? Who saw this most recently?
I've got to assume that's me. I saw it today.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, right. What did you think, Parizad?
I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy all of it. But yeah, overall I liked it. I thought it was a good film. Thought it had some really interesting bits and some really funny bits. I thought it was a touch long. I thought the lead up at the beginning could have been done a bit quicker.
When you say you didn't enjoy all of it, was there a part that you particularly disliked then?
No, it was more just the fact that I felt it was a bit too long.
Okay, yeah.
How long is it?
2 hours? A bit over 2, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's not a long film, though. But
No.
It did kind of feel a bit long.
Yeah, well, Merv, what do you reckon?
Well, I watched it when it first came out, so I then actually had to think. I didn't remember a lot of it, so I watched it again this afternoon. And, yeah, it was funny. I actually enjoyed the first half. The making of the film bit, I thought that was the bit that dragged on, and the only thing that kept its interest was Wesley Snipes' character, who I thought was probably one of the shining lights of this film.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
I
interesting.
agree with half of what Merv said.
Go on, which half?
Well, I agree that for me the front of the film was better than the second half of the film. But Snipes' thing I just felt was a little too over the top at times.
And that's interesting because I now agree with half of what you said, Roly.
Wow, which half?
The Snipes bit. I thought he was pushing it. I mean, unless the real D'Urville guy is like that, I thought he was one sniff away from a good ham sandwich, you know. But I preferred the making of the film part. I thought it was getting a little bit sort of, the build up was a bit too much at the beginning, and I wanted them to get stuck into making that film.
Yeah, but was the difference for me. This was the difference with me. I actually had no idea about what the film was about before I watched it, so I didn't know that it was a real story. I didn't know that it was about a film being made, so I wasn't waiting in anticipation for anything.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen the original Dolemite, but I saw a little bit of it after I watched this one, and it looks kind of shit, as you'd imagine. Well, Merv, what were you going to say?
Well, I guess the reason I liked the first half was I liked kind of that origin story of where Dolemite came from, that kind of whole African-American folklore side of the story and how he took it. And it kind of showed that he was delving into like this long-established culture, and also it kind of really pointed out a very specific story as well. So that's what I really liked about it. It was just kind of, this taking of, I think they mentioned went back to slave culture and things like that. The Dolemite story, the big tales to tell around, and then he kind of popularized it. And also, I guess, it stresses throughout the film that, whenever the white executives and the white radio people are like, I don't understand this. I don't get it. No, it was a real cultural film.
Yeah.
So, I think that's why I enjoyed the first half. The second half was, I don't know, I've seen it before, making a movie.
Okay, yeah. I think they married fairly well, those halves. I just thought it needed a bit quicker getting into that film, but, yeah.
It felt like they were quite kind to the white producers in it as well. Like, they were portrayed as kind of guys that were taking a bit of a risk. They didn't really get it. But, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting as well, because typically you'd have a film where those guys would be the bad guys.
Right.
This was not like that. Yeah, it didn't. I was really quite happy that this film didn't fall too much into those sort of stereotypes.
Well, here's something odd.
The fact that he stole what he stole.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Well, this was actually directed by a white guy and written by two other white guys. So maybe there's a line in the film where one of the geezers is saying, why are we letting these white guys help us on this film? And some other guy sort of upbraids him a little bit for saying that. So maybe it's because, in real life, they've got technical staff behind them that are, not all African Americans. So.
But Murphy, was he a writer on this, or?
No, no, I don't think so. Maybe maybe he had a hand in producing, but no, it's written by a couple of white fellas. Yeah, so. Yeah, don't know. I would have thought that everybody involved was African American, but that's maybe just me being a bit naive. Yeah. Parizad, are you still here? Hi.
I'm still here. Sorry, I was just listening.
Sorry, I just realised. It's hard when we're not seeing each other. We're just, what's going on?
Yeah, for me, I actually went into it with the same prior knowledge as Roly, where I had no idea what the film was about, didn't know about the original movie. But about halfway through, when they started to get into making the film, that's when it kind of became clear that that's what the meat of the movie was actually about. And that's when I was like, oh, why did they waste all this time in the build-up then?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Prior to that, I was quite happy with it, but I was kind of looking for a point to the film. And then when they got to it, I just thought it could have been gotten to a bit quicker than that. But I still really enjoyed the initial half of the film. It was weird. It was almost like I was watching a film and its sequel back to back.
Yeah, that's true. I guess he did make a few others. I'm not sure if there was a Dolemite sequel. Merv, would you know about this?
Yeah. I think there was 3 or 4 that he made, which were on that Dolemite character.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Which, I mean, do you think there's a slight piss take of the Dolemite and the character and Rudy Ray Moore himself, or were they pretty sincere?
I think they're pretty sincere. I'd say Eddie Murphy was a fan who, I reckon, I mean, look at Eddie Murphy would have been a young, kid, late, maybe early teens and all that sort of stuff when, he probably had the records as a kid, listening to them and all that sort of stuff. So, no, I think he was a genuine fan.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Go on, Rob.
What did you think of Murphy's performance in this overall then?
I forgot all about this guy because when I was growing up, I saw 48 Hours and Beverly Hills Cop and Trading Places and all those good early 80s films. Then he sort of went a bit, odd.
Family.
That must have something happened, and I basically wrote him off. And this is the first film I've seen with him in since those early films, I think.
Well, you're not talking about films about the making of films. And
no,
the other
films.
one he's been in, of course, are Bowfinger, one of my favourite films.
I've not even seen that. Yeah, you've
Steve Martin. just I think a masterpiece of a film, of a comedy.
Yeah, I'll have to get to that. I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
The fact that I haven't seen it is terrible. The film.
Yes.
So, okay. Yeah, I'll get to it. Yeah. Yeah. No, but that's I don't know. This is him. Is this a comeback for him? I don't know.
It's a very controlled comeback for him.
Right. Okay.
Well, I think it had to be that way given his history. I actually went back and looked at some of his old stand-up routines, and it would be hard to perform those routines these days.
Yeah, right.
And that's an understatement.
Is it sort of pushing the
people would call it hate speech now.
Hate. Okay, right.
Right. So I think he's done really well with this.
Yeah. I don't know why he doesn't. Yeah, what you can't ever have a 100% perfect career, but he seemed to really drop off and do stupid films. Like didn't watch them because they're not for me, but things like Nutty Professor and Doctor Dolittle as well?
He was having children.
Yeah.
Reckon? Doing it for his kids?
Well, he's got 7 or 8 of them.
Shit. Okay.
No, so before this came out, he went on, he jumped on, Jerry Seinfeld's, was it Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, whatever it was?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So another Netflix show. So, interviewed him, or you're back, and but, he talks about kind of what he's been doing the last few years, and it's mainly been, kind of, family, and now most of, well, not all of them, but a good chunk of them are now growing up, so...
Okay.
Like, well, and Netflix has got a bucket load of cash and it likes to throw it at people.
Sure.
He was a massive star in the 80s, wasn't he?
Wasn't he? Yeah.
Oh, and the 90s.
Yeah. It was. I think his first film, he was only about 22 when he made it, wasn't he? With 48 Hours. That's quite a film to come out with, your first film. So. Here, just one more thing here, guys, that I have a point about. That old drunk guy that he steals his routine from. Sorry, no spoilers, but that's what happened. He does a little bit of that Muhammad Ali trash talk stuff. Did you notice the handcuff lightning, throw thunder in jail? You know that stuff?
Mm. Yeah.
Which Ali does before the Rumble in the Jungle fight, when he's doing a press conference with Don King.
70s. So when was that?
74. Yeah. It was October 74. So he must have done it before the fight, so let's say early 74, maybe August, something like this. So this film the Dolemite film was 75. It kind of, I guess it all hangs together. Maybe the Dolemite stuff was a little bit earlier. Do you think Ali lifted it, or did they lift it from Ali?
I'm not sure.
Who could? I tried to track this down. I don't know who can tell us this.
It might not be a lifting of either. It could just be kind of culturally what was happening at the time.
That's that's pretty distinct. That sort of statement.
It comes down to where did the writers get it from as well?
Yeah, that's true.
It might have never even been part of the whole Dolemite. I don't know. You saw it. Who saw it? You saw it recently, Shady?
About a week ago. Yeah.
Was there anything like that in the actual film?
Oh, the actual film of
Sorry,
Dolemite?
the actual original film.
No, I couldn't get past 5 minutes of that. Didn't see that. No, I get a feeling that maybe it was on one of those Dolemite records, and Ali listened to it at the time, or a little earlier than the fight, and just nicked that. But that's sort of depressing if he stole that off somebody else. I thought Ali was a big gun with all that sort of stuff,
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns here, so
lots of unknowns. Yeah,
lots of unknowns.
Yeah. True. Any other points, guys, before we wrap it?
I will defend Wesley Snipes.
Go on then. Make a defense. Why was it not over the top?
His character was very funny, and I think he had to be a big character in order to compete against Eddie Murphy's character. they both, because obviously they're clashing and all that. But yeah, I just thought they were just good little foils for each other. You know, one kind of being the thespian as such, and the other one being the, you know, kind of crude comedian. I just thought he brought some nice, different levity to it. I
did like what he was bringing, but I also felt it did jerk me out of the film itself and made me think about the acting.
Yeah, that's why it really it's a little iffy. Yeah.
For me, I didn't clock him as Wesley Snipes immediately. So for me, I just kind of went with it and was like, oh yeah, this works. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It did, it seemed a touch over the top, but I assumed that was intentional to kind of show the contrast between them.
And for who, I mean, we don't know, but that actor may have been exactly like that. So. Yeah.
And I just liked all the Billy D. William jokes.
Yeah, right. Like he was a huge star before the Star Wars series. Yeah.
Yeah, so he got mentioned twice, and I ain't no Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. There's... Go on, Roly.
Sorry. Oh, I was just going to say we have to mention Snoop Dogg, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
he pops
his
up.
performance.
Chris Rock pops up.
Yeah. Yeah, old Snoop
on.
didn't rock me out of the experience at all. He was solid as far as I was concerned.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's...
Well, he was definitely playing in his element, right?
Yeah,
yes.
I think that's it.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he's much of an actor, to be fair, but he did all right in this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg was just being Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, true.
What he does best.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think that's probably a good little experiment for our new style. Thank you all for joining, and talk to you next time. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Dolemite is my name, and fucking up motherfuckers is my game.